Who's Eric?
All right, we up, we are up.
Oh, yeah. This is Eric at Local 402.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
asking.
That's all
Okay.
good. Got a question? Feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you.
All right, so we are here on March 22nd, 6/11. We have a very special guest today. Over the last couple of shows that we've talked about this thing of corruption. And a lot of people, especially our members, they believe that corruption just has to deal with money. Corruption is bigger than just money. And so, our brother today, he's going to talk to us about some more corruption that goes on at the highest levels of our organization. We mentioned it before, but I don't want people just to take my word for it. I want people to really listen and hear from the people who are in it. And unfortunately, we're forced to partake in it. So, Brother Caleb, go ahead, bro. And everybody, my camera is jacked up, man. I don't know what's going on out here, man. I gotta figure this out. But I wanted to give Brother Caleb an opportunity to talk about some issues that I think everybody needs to hear and why we cannot be all we need to be under this current general president. So go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm Caleb Keel. I'm a UPSer since 2018. I had a local 391 in North Carolina. In 2023, I took a job as a organizer, a project organizer, field organizer, if you will, at the IBT. For those that don't know, especially UPSers, the IBT there's a two-tier system for organizers. Okay, so you have field organizers projects that are um, hired by the local, or they're hired under the local, they're paid through the local, and they're not direct employees of the international, sort of like a was it DSP at Amazon, okay, or FedEx, whatever. Um, the same sort of deal. And staff organizers are direct employees of the international, okay. I've talked to a couple of people before about some things that went on at the international. I got to see firsthand and actually partake in. And for anybody who's wondering, no, I do not work for the international now. I am back at UPS as of about 3 weeks ago. Okay. So this stuff's still kind of fresh. So in April of last year, 2025, I was working in Florida. I was working in Sarasota, and there was two or three guys on my team. And one day we were pulled in by at the time our coordinator, and we were pretty much forced, to get signatures for the Oz campaign. Okay, it seems simple enough. It's not, because we were there to organize. We're not there for any political reasons, right? Um, and this went on for probably the better part of 2 months. Okay. Um, After that, I know a lot of people are probably aware of this, or you've heard about it probably in previous administrations. Organizers are forced to give money. Okay, they're told that to either keep their job or to advance within the department. They need to give money. But this time around, this was not a secret. This was forced among all the organizers in my region. I know of two organizers right now who did not give money at a specific event held in Chicago, and were later forced to cut a check. Okay, so this corruption stuff is not, it's not just limited to the West Coast and Chris Griswold. This stuff is everywhere. It's widespread. Okay, and it's not going anywhere. I would definitely encourage any member or any official, anybody in the department, to please, reach out, call it out, call the OES, and also do like I'm doing and talk to the Department of Labor. Okay, this stuff cannot continue to happen. Okay, recently, I know most people are aware, and if I'm rushing through this, if anybody has any specific questions, please reach out to me too. But as most people are aware, recently the organizing department has organized a independent union. Okay, a lot of the issues that I'm talking about right now are the reason we organized, right? Okay, a lot of people that IBT is hiring now do not come out of a craft. Okay, they're not UPSers, they're not out of ABF, any kind of freight, not out of Red Cross or anything. These are organizers that come from SEIU, they come from the AFT, they come from all different unions, all walks of life, and they have no idea about the politics within the Teamsters. And once they get a feel for it, and they see our general president, speaking at the RNC, it kind of leaves a bad taste in their mouth. And then 2 weeks later, they're told to give money, right? So these people have no idea, and their job should not be dependent on who is in office and who their support's behind, right? I know a lot of organizers who don't agree with the what's going on right now at the international. For anybody who didn't see the sitting behind Mark Wayne Mullen the other day, that's absolutely disgusting, is what it is. It's absolutely crazy. It is, and that kind of stuff does not belong in our unions, right? I mean, these are members. These are members that are getting snatched up by these people. I mean, these are workers, everyday people who are getting snatched up by these ICE agents, which is what Mark Wayne will be controlling, right? So this kind of stuff has to stop. People are sick of it. But until we do something about it, and members and officials, organizers, whoever are willing to call this stuff out and do something about it, it's not going to end. Okay, it happened. I mean, I've heard stories. I haven't been around that long, but I've heard stories under Hoffa with the organizing department, sort of the same thing. But at some point, we got to break the cycle, right? We have to break it. We can't continue a vicious cycle, man, because it's not good for organizers, and it's definitely not good for workers either. So that's in a nutshell what I got, Richard.
So just real quick, brother, because I don't want this to get lost on what you said. So you're an organizer, and you were forced to give money to the Oz campaign, and if you didn't give money to the Oz campaign, they would tell you that you could not move up or progress through the department, or they would send you back to the craft.
Yeah, the wording they use is this: when you give money to the Oz campaign, this is Teamster dollars, and that translates to, if you're a field organizer, you will not make staff if you do not give money. I talked to an organizer yesterday who just attended another event for Oz, and he obviously does not support what's going on whatsoever. And but he feels like he has to get on, right? He wants to get on staff. He wants to get a full-time job, but he feels like he has to give this money. And let's just be honest, these guys don't make a lot, right? I mean, was it $66,000, $67,000, something like that? That's not a lot of money in
That is not.
2026.
That's right.
That is not a lot. Yeah, it's not a lot at all. And you're expecting these guys to give. I mean, 250 is even a lot, right? 2,000 is extraordinary, you know. But you want these people to give money for absolutely nothing, just to keep their job. I mean, it's pretty sick, man. But I've witnessed it firsthand. It's continuing, and like I say, it's not going to stop. So,
And then they also
but
had you guys go out and get signatures
yeah,
on union time, using union resources, when you guys, your jobs are to go out and organize, not to collect signatures for the general president and his slate.
absolutely, yeah. So when we travel, of course, we get one, we fly on the IBT dime, which is members money.
Right.
Okay. Two, you get a rental card also on the IBT dime, members money. And all this work we were doing, or not work, but all this political work we were doing was it was on the IBT dime. Of course, I live in North Carolina. I was traveling in Sarasota, and I sure didn't pay for it, but we were told that we had to get those signatures done. Okay, I got signatures signed at Tropicana, and I got signatures signed at UPS, two UPS facilities, actually. But yeah, I mean, I know it. We're not the only region who who was told to do that. And quite honestly, I talked to the Department of Labor, and just like they said, it it's not, it doesn't matter if somebody wanted to do it. It's the fact that they did do it, right? Because you have a lot of people here who are looking for, they're looking for favor from the Oz campaign, right? And they'll go out and get signatures signed, but they're still on the IBT dime. Right. So this is a huge problem. It happened nationwide, and there's no excuse for it, especially being told to do it or forced to do it, like most of the organizers in southern region were. But yes, absolutely, we were told we had to do it for Teamster dollars. So
So how was the process of trying to organize the union up there? Because from my understanding, this has been something that the organizers have been trying to do for even before you got up there. So
yeah,
what made it, number one, how were you guys successful, and what was the atmosphere? I mean, because you would think that a union would, number one, automatically recognize workers. That's what you would think. But so just explain to everybody the corruption in that process as well.
yeah, absolutely. So like I say, I started in 2023, so I've actually been through two union drives at the International. The first was in the end of 2023 and beginning of 2024, and it was with the WBNG, Washington Baltimore News Guild. And of course, it failed. I don't remember what the exact vote count was. It was pretty close. I think it was maybe 16 to 14 or 12 or something like that. But this one was this one was a blowout. This one was good, right? This was a really good campaign. This campaign, first off, we called multiple unions. Okay, we called, I think, Workers United. We called SEIU. We reached out to the UAW. Nobody was willing to take this campaign because of the known union busting that happened the last campaign. Okay, nobody thought this campaign would succeed whatsoever. Okay, so it's been an uphill battle. It was a very, very tough campaign. We had to actually found our own union, which was IBT Staff Council. And by the way, I was involved with that campaign, but I'm not speaking for them whatsoever. Of course, they have a new leadership at the IBTSC since I'm back at UPS. But anyways, the campaign was union busted, no different than Pepsi, no different than Amazon, no different than any of these companies. There's charges right now filed against the IBT for this campaign. The first charge, and I know quite a few people are aware of this, is we waited, I think it was 18 days, and got absolutely no response from the International after we demanded recognition. If anybody's familiar with CMEX is a big deal, right? And they're supposed to at least respond or file an RM petition, and they did nothing. Okay, they just let us sit. We ended up filing our own petition and filing a refusal to recognize charge. Why they didn't want to recognize their organizers when we're union organizers, and they're the biggest baddest union in the country is it's lost to me. I have no idea, right? But anyways, they continued. The Rocks were told to tell organizers that if they organize their union, if they vote yes, they'll lose their insurance. Okay, they'll lose their insurance. This is something about being in the Constitution. Also, they would say that they would lose their membership. They did that same thing. They said that last time around with WBNG. So these are straight union busting tactics. This kind of stuff has no place in our union. And it went on until the day we voted. Okay, for anybody who's not aware, most people probably aren't because nobody really knows who I am. But I had a resignation in for March the 23rd, and our election was on February 17th. I had to go to Baltimore to the vote count, and my ballot as the observer, and I wasn't leaving until the 23rd of the next month. My ballot was challenged by the Teamsters.
Right.
My ballot was challenged by the Teamsters. It's absolutely disgusting. We were prepared for it, but it was absolutely disgusting. We won the campaign pretty big, so that's good. And now we're about to they're about to start negotiating with the Teamsters. But don't get it twisted. The Teamsters are already putting out, and this is coming from organizers saying that they're hearing from Sean that the Teamsters are not going to give them a contract.
Hold up one minute now. Hold on. Hold on. You just said that the general president is telling workers who just organized that they're not going to get a contract.
Yeah, like I say, I talked to an organizer yesterday. He was telling me all about this event, and he was also very fearful because he was told that the organizers would not get a contract whatsoever. They would not be getting a contract, and they're going to. I mean, I can see it. I lived it firsthand. I believe they're going to continue the Oz campaign. This administration will continue to bust this union until the year mark is up, and then push a desert. I can almost I can almost predict it. So luckily we got we have very good people. The IBTSC has very good people that are leading the union right now, and I don't think they're going to let that happen. Okay.
Good.
So hopefully we can keep everybody together, and they can overcome all of the continued union busting. So
Right.
yeah.
You know what? It must have been pretty bad up there for you to want to go back to UPS and deal with their hostility and their harassment and their intimidation and their retaliation. It says a lot that you would rather deal with them than to deal with your own union. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. I've been, as most shop stewards have who do the right things, right? You've been fired from UPS at least once,
Right.
a lot of folks have been fired from UPS. I've dealt a lot with UPS, man. I've dealt a lot as an organizer. I dealt with a lot of companies and union busting, and the IBT's underground campaign, the union busting campaign they ran was one of the strongest union busting campaigns you ever see. Okay, because it's not a manager walking up and telling you, hey, if you do this, we're not going to give you, pizza on Fridays anymore, right? This is somebody, this is a coordinator or a leader of the department telling you, hey, if you guys organize, we are going to take your insurance. We are going to take your membership. You won't be able to go back to your shop. Okay.
And this is what the
Uh,
IBT folks are telling you, or telling your
that
whole group, your whole group.
Yeah. So what they would do is they would get certain organizers. They would get certain organizers to spread it, whether it's a lead, whether it's a staff organizer, it didn't matter. They would spread it to other organizers. We had to field calls all the time. Okay. We had organizers calling like every day with a new issue. Such and such just told me that if we organize, we're going to lose our membership, you know. Um, and I come out of UPS, I come out of ABF. They were concerned. You know, that's something to be concerned over because you don't know what these guys are going to do, right? Um, yeah, but yeah, that's a little bit different than just losing a pizza party on Fridays, right? So
Right.
yeah.
Brother Chris, I know you want to say something, man. This is crazy.
You know, as he said, it's not new. This has been going on for the longest time. It just tells you of the type of changes that need to be made when a union is going to find itself functioning like a union buster. Uh, then how can you be against union busting when you're a practitioner, right? I mean, so
Right.
these are the forms of corruption that don't seem to violate any law. You know what I'm saying? You didn't steal money, you didn't do any of those things, but these are these undercurrents of because if you're practicing that type of strategy that any corporate company would, then you're just as guilty as Amazon. You're just as guilty as any of these other companies that
Right.
practice this lifestyle. And these are the changes that have to be made. This international has to behave differently. I mean, I just saw some stuff about what was happening out in Vegas, I guess, of just people trying to change the bylaws of the local and the level of intimidation and what happened to go on there and to threaten people for one. Well, first of all, something got to be wrong with a system where a guy working for a union has a desire for a union. That's the first thing, because it would seem that if you were working for a hospital, you wouldn't have to get any kind of special insurance, right? The hospital will take care of you if you were sick. Uh, but the mere fact that they felt the need to drive to go and get a union tells you how horrendous the conditions have to be in that union, you know. But the
Right.
workers, the staff workers at the IBT, the maintenance workers years ago under Hoffa, they had to go out and get a union themselves and suffered some of the same uh, uh, anti-union behavior and rhetoric came out of that group back then. It's just abhorrent.
Man, that's dirty. Man, that's dirty, Caleb. Man.
Hey, if I could say one more thing, Richard,
Yeah.
I got to say this. So I've talked to a lot of people about this. I talked to UPSers who have been around the block in '97. They've seen a couple of different leaders, and everybody's like, well, that's kind of stuff happens. You know, the corruption, the having to give money, the union busting when you have a union campaign. I know we have some other people who were involved in previous campaigns. That kind of stuff happens, right? It's historic. It doesn't matter to leader. Well, when is it going to start
Oh, it
mattering,
does matter,
right?
brother. No, no, no,
When,
no, no.
yeah,
It does matter. It does matter.
yeah, when do we fix this, right? That's the question. It's not, people try to blow it off and say that it's not an issue. It's been an issue, whatever. It's just something you have to deal with. No, it's not. We can absolutely change this, and we shouldn't be dealing with this kind of stuff if we're
Right.
going to be, North America's strongest union, right?
Right.
This is not I mean, the kind of stuff that goes on here. I feel like if a lot of workers knew about this, the workers we organize, they they would not be too keen.
No.
You know what I
Why
mean?
would
They
you?
wouldn't
Yeah.
like this at
Why
all.
would you?
So
But this
yeah,
is also
exactly.
happening at the local union level, the joint council level, where if you're in certain locals, you're being told by your local leadership, and especially if they have a job at the IBT or whatever, that you got to contribute $2,000. I mean, so this is not just happening at the international. This goes all the way down, and those
Yeah.
people use their authority and their power in their local unions to saddle up with the general president and what have you. And so, you go to local unions and you're an organizer or you're a business agent or whatever, you're told if you want to stay here, you're going to make this contribution. And,
Yeah.
$2,000 is a lot of money.
Yep.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Eric.
Okay, so let's just get real for a real second. Listening to this, it's union coercion, it's political donation coercion, retaliation, extortion, and labor racketeering out of our own freaking union against its members. I just want to throw that out there. And there's
Yeah.
government agencies that are supposed to fix stuff like that.
Well, Caleb did say that he went to the Department of Labor on this issue, and the way you broke it down right there, Eric, that's a lot to look into. That is, and I'm hoping
Absolutely.
that members understand the severity of this stuff. This is not a game. We talk about all these other employers and how they do us and this, that, and the other. We're told to file grievances and we're told to take it to panel and we're told to do this. But what are we going to do about it in our own organization? Like, when are we going to say, man, you know what? Like Caleb said, when is enough going to be enough? When is enough going to be enough? Because we've been saying this, Chris, for a long, long time. We are never going to be what we should and ought to be until we get rid of this element.
Yeah.
It's never going to change. Never. You got folks right now scared to death of their leader. Like you said, Eric, they are extorting these people and say, hey, if you don't give us the money, you will not progress in this union.
Yeah.
Or we're going to send you back. And then he said he's going to take your health
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah. No, but that's the real word right there. It's extortion. It's extortion
Right.
at the joint council levels. It's extortion at the local union levels. It's extortion to take money from someone who does not want to give.
Exactly.
Force them to give under duress. That's extortion. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure it violates the law.
And then watch this, Chris. You're having the organizers violate the rules,
Yeah.
going out and get signatures
Mhm.
when it's supposed to be working.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And if they don't get the signatures, oh, you're not going to progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
No.
going to have to send you back to the craft.
Yeah. And to talk about that two-tierism that he talks
Yeah.
about is another very important issue. So we're supposedly fighting two-tier situations in our collective bargaining agreement, and you're sitting at home practicing the lifestyle.
Exactly. And to everybody that's watching this, when is enough going to be enough?
Yeah. You
When
always
is it?
had I never heard the term before Hoffa's time, this project organizing, and basically you would hire an organizer. Usually it was the guy that worked for the local or worked for a regional office when we had conferences and what have you. And the international would pay those people, reimburse those organizations for their time. But what they're doing now is taking people out, and you could be a permanent project organizer,
Mhm.
and it might be better than being a UPS driver. I guess it might be better than being a freight driver because you're in the hotel and you got the
Yeah.
rent a car and all this kind of stuff like that. It might be that, but but the two-tier theory of a guy that's there for years as a project organizer, that's abnormal. But it became normal with Hoffa and them, but it's an abnormal behavior to have somebody in that type of a position for that length of time. Doesn't seem to make too much sense to me.
Right. And like you said too, Chris, this goes on we all know it goes on at the top level, but it always comes all the way down to the local level as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And we don't fix it. And then now look at what's going on up there at the IBT with its organizers. For them to have to organize their own union within the union, that should tell you all that you need to know. And then for the union themselves to try to bust the union, that's crazy to me. Why why would a union try to bust its own workers, its own members? Why would you do that? That's crazy. But again, when is enough going to be enough? That's the question. When is enough going to be enough? Right? And I hope the Department of Labor, I hope the IIO, OES, all of them, I hope they investigate this and do something about it, because it's got to stop. It's got to stop. People should not be afraid of their own union. You shouldn't be. You're already paying them dues, and you got to be afraid of them too.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Eric.
So, what's the first rule of surviving on the street? Awareness, right?
Yeah.
Part of our major problem is a lot of the Teamsters we have here where I'm at, they're all like 30 years or younger in the sense of, like, one of the guys that I talk to a lot, he's only 22 years old. He's been driving the moment he turned 21. And all those guys, like, when I was having a conversation with him, I was talking about the election coming up, and he was like, election? What election? I was like, for the Teamster president. And he's like, I'll have to get with you later and you can tell me all about this. But awareness is what we need. That's what's going to get us where we need to be. And I don't know if you're kind of going the social media route, but I would suggest that, because a lot of guys, I mean, you just have a TikTok channel or an Instagram channel, and you talk about the things that have been going on in the union without pointing any fingers, like our general president did in one of his dumbass interviews where he's talking bad about the person running against him. I mean, it's like, what is this, high school? But if we had a means of educating, like, young people, and to get them involved so they understand what this is, then that's where we'll win.
But you're right there. Social media and other media and talking to people is very, very important. But the issue is, even with all of that, people don't want to believe it. It's like, no, this can't be the union. This can't be happening. And then you got people who don't even care. They don't even care. Brother Caleb had told me about somebody. I'm not gonna say the name. It's up to him if he want to. He told me that somebody told him that the general president could almost stand in the middle of the street and harm somebody, and they would still vote for him. They'll still vote for him. It don't matter. It does not matter. It's a system that we have that's been in way before O'Brien, and we gotta fix the system. We gotta fix it, and you fix it by electing people who want to get rid of this corruption and actually want to do the work of the people. That's what you gotta do. Because this is not, it is not going to stop. It is not going to stop with this general president. If you guys keep him in there, we're gonna be here talking like this over the next 5 years about how people keep getting bullied and threatened and retaliated against, and people taking them. Look what he tried to do with Griswold. They tried to hide it. My man was going to Paris on the members' dime, and he tried to hide it. The IIO told him, no, man, you can't do that. No, we're gonna sweep it under the rug, and people don't care, and they know it. They just don't care, and I don't know why they don't care. It makes no sense to me. If you know somebody is doing something like this, why do you keep voting for them? Because you're afraid, or it's that money that you're getting. Them stipends, that extra salary you're getting. That's why. Who knows? But at a certain point, and Chris, you and I talk about this all the time, is integrity worth it? Is character worth it? Is morality worth it? If you know a person is extorting money from people, and you still support them. You wouldn't do it if it was Tomei and Bezos and the Walton family. Why do we put it with our own people?
But here's the more dangerous question in my mind. What if the corruption has become acceptable? What if this behavior has become so acceptable, so endemic in our system that we have normalized it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what happened, Chris. It's normalized now.
Yeah,
It's acceptable.
yeah,
As long as I get my second check or my third check or
that's
my
it.
stipend,
I'm good.
I don't care what you do.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't care who you extorting. I don't
yeah,
care who you blackball or harass or intimidate. As long as I get mine, I don't care.
yeah.
Hey,
Brother
Rich,
Terry, what's going on, bro?
what's going on, brother? Hey, man. So listen, I hear everything y'all saying, and I'm gonna say this, man. Like the other brother said, we need to get out and on these social media networks, and we need to start talking to these younger folks, and we need to really educate these younger folks. I mean, all they see is, well, I'm in the union or I'm not in the union for us right to work states. But then if there's no repercussions on these guys for not wanting to support because they figure, well, I got a job until they don't have a job.
Yeah.
So the thing is, how do we take on these folks and let them realize that how important the union really is and what we actually do for them?
Well, having conversations like this is important, and then having conversations among your co-workers, your brothers and sisters is equally as important. All we can do is lead them to the water. We can't make them drink, and I think a lot of the conversations have to be geared toward that. Hey, this is what the union is supposed to do. What we have right now is not what the union is supposed to be. If you want to change that, this is how you do it. You go to your union meetings, ask questions, read your bylaws, read the Constitution, learn about your contract, learn about each position in your union, what they do, what they don't do, right? Learn about what it is to be a BA. All these things are important because a lot of it we look to our leaders to do certain things, and they have a responsibility to do some things. But we as members, man, we got to take the bull by the horns ourselves and do it ourselves.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
too many times we lean on to our leaders to do everything, but the leader can't do everything. If the members don't participate in this change, it'll never happen.
Yeah.
And what you just heard from Caleb and all that stuff, that's ridiculous, man. There should be no member, no matter what political spectrum you're on, no matter your race, creed, culture. When you heard what he said, along with the other stuff that's been happening with Griswold and all this other stuff, it should be, hey man, we're not putting up with this no more. We're not doing this. We listen, whenever you have to put fear in people in order to get them, to do something for you, it's time for you to go. But if they're going to stay there until we do something about it,
True.
what you allow is what will continue. If you allow all this stuff, guess what? It's going to continue to happen.
But we
Go
put
ahead,
it in the
Chris.
wrong place. We're not putting fear in Carol Tomei.
Exactly.
We're not putting fear in Bezos. We're not putting fear in Trump. We're putting fear in the victims of this capitalist system that we live under, right? So they are practicing a reverse negative lifestyle in that they're assaulting their members, they're assaulting their employees, and can assault Mark Wayne Mullen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You running down to Mar-a-Lago and what have you like that. Nobody that I know that went to Mar-a-Lago ever walked straight again. So we have some serious difficulties when people can't identify pro-union versus anti-union. When we can't understand what it means to be intimidated by your own leader, when that behavior becomes so normalized that it's acceptable, it means that we have some serious work because it's physical, it's psychological, it's sociological
Yes.
in terms of how deep this has become entrenched in the system that the consent decree, the IRB have been unable to change. But then again, when the government is corrupt, how do you expect corruption to clean up corruption?
Right. Corruption can't clean up corruption.
The
Yeah,
members
you got to get
are
a
the
whole
only
new
people
group.
that can change the dynamic of this
There you go.
organization. And if
That's
they
what's going to have to
sleeping,
happen.
then they have to eat what they sow.
Right. Exactly. Because I've never really heard anything like what Caleb was talking about. You know, it's so much stuff wrong with that. First, they supposed to be going out and organizing. You got them going out to get signatures for your campaign. Then you try to bust up the union that they're trying to organize. But why didn't you automatically recognize them? You supposed to be you supposed to be a union. You know what's up? But that's that's our organization, man. That's who we are. And you're gonna see all kind of stuff on Facebook how great this administration is. You're gonna hear all kind of stuff, but this is the stuff that gives all of us, not just the general president, but all of us in this union a black eye. Because like Caleb said, man, and I think you said it too, Chris. If I'm a group of workers and I try to organize a union, they're gonna fly a union busted down and say, oh, this union that you're getting ready to organize with, let me tell you about their general president and what he likes to do to his own members.
That part.
Yeah.
And they can put it up on the screen. This is what he likes to do. This is him. Do you want to join that organization? So we got a lot of work to do. Go ahead, somebody had a hand up. Go ahead, Shaw.
Hey everybody. Just
What's
to
up,
be
Sid?
just to be completely honest with everyone, you don't have to hire a professional union buster, especially in the right to work state, because anybody that's been mistreated, they're gonna spread that word just like
Yeah.
any other words that they spreading like wildfire. You know, with the amount of layoffs that they have, hey, people gonna the next day and they keep spreading the word, hey, it's gonna be another round. So people like, hey, if I'm gonna be laid off, I might as well pull my money. So you don't have to. People are already on the defense. They already on the defense, so they don't have to pay nobody to union bus because hey, the same way how you send negative words, negativity out, slanderous accusations on somebody with a smear campaign. Guess what?
Yeah.
The same people that you spread the word to, they spread the other words to other people too.
Yeah.
Hey, get out the union. We're in the right to work state. You don't have to be in a union. They still got to represent you fairly. So hey, with these layoffs and stuff, people gonna be pulling their money and scaling back anyway.
Man. Hey Terry, what local and craft you out of?
I'm in 728. I'm here with Yvette and everybody else. Yeah, I'm in Atlanta.
Be one of your delegates.
Today.
Be one of your delegates, yeah.
All right.
That's my stepson, Hooker.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my adopted son.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey Caleb, you still there, man? You I know you may have to go. I don't want to hold you up, brother, if you gotta go. But I'm glad you did come on, man, and just
No, I'm still on. You're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yes,
man. You dropped some bombs on us today. 540. What's up? What's up, Brian?
Could I just say this, man? I appreciate you coming out, Brother Caleb, because this been going on for as long as I've been in this Teamsters Union. And it was going on when Ron Kira was here, just so you know. And the use of international staff to perpetuate your authority and your power means that you ain't been doing no righteous work.
Yeah.
Because if your work is righteous, the people would see it. They don't have to be told. They could feel it. They know it. They'd understand it. right? And so this has been going on for a long time, and these are some of the things that need to be changed in the bylaws, constitution of the Teamsters.
But you know what?
Thank you for your bravery for.
You know what, Chris, man, we tried this bylaw amendment last convention and to try to help root out this corruption. And they made it about just one person when it was about corruption and not a person. And now look at us now. Look at us now. We tried. We tried it 5 years ago. And they was like, "No, man, it's just about the general president." Nah, 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 nah. Now look at us. Now look at us.
Well, he wasn't even the general president at the time.
No.
And people don't understand that the Constitution, bylaws are never about one person.
No.
Even though one person can trigger the change. It's about correcting the system and making the system a more perfect system, if you will, for lack of better terminology. That the changes to the Constitution, the changes to the bylaws is because of lessons that we have learned during the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And we recognize that these things were wrong or these things were correct. These things need to be fixed and what have you. And that's the reason for those amendments and those changes. So but people need to stop personalizing everything.
Yeah.
And starting to look at things from objective positions in order to achieve the better outcomes that we're looking for as an organization, as a working class movement.
Right. But there is one. Hold on, how do I do this? How do I put this?
Hey, Hooker. Oh,
Yes.
did you look at the note on Freddie Lopez on Facebook?
No. Uh-uh.
Yvette, are you looking?
I was looking, I'm multitasking over here, but I was looking on Facebook. We got some folks on there basically amen and a bunch of the stuff, but I hadn't seen anything.
So, while we're talking about that, I just want to address something very briefly because I got a couple of texts about it, and I just want to address something that was said or what I've been saying about Donald Trump. And I got text saying, "Man, Hooker, every time you talk about Donald Trump, you turn people away from voting for you. They don't like O'Brien, but this whole Trump thing is going to cost you votes and this, that, and the other." So let me just be perfectly clear on my position on anybody that is against working class people. It doesn't matter to me if you are Democrat, Republican, independent, whoever you are. If you are against working class people having a pension, then I'm not going to support you. If you are against working class people having health care, then I'm not going to support you. If you are against working class people having a contract or joining a union, if you believe that a person going on strike or workers going on strike should be fired, I'm never going to support you. There's nothing that you and I need to talk about because what you're doing, you have made yourself the enemy of my survival. And if you want to kill me, then why do I need to sit and talk to you at your table? You have already let me know how you feel about my survival. Workers need a contract. You don't want me to have one. What is it to talk about? Workers need a pension. You don't want me to have one. What does you need to be talking about? I get the whole bipartisan. I get that. But bipartisan only works if you want me to survive. If you want to kill me and my whole entire class, then there's nothing to work about. So, and again, I'm not against Democrats. I'm not against Republicans. I'm not against independents. I am pro working class. That's me. This is a class struggle, right? This is not Hooker hates Republicans because I see the narrative being spent. Hooker just hates Republicans. No, 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 no. I don't like people who wants to, end this my survival, right? Nobody who goes on strike should be fired. Nobody.
That's right.
You can't come in and take away 50,000 people's collective bargain agreement and think it's okay,
That's
right?
right.
You can't shut down the NLRB. That's no nothing to talk about,
Yeah.
right? And that's my position. Now, if that costs me votes, God bless you. I still love
Yeah.
you.
That part.
But I'm not going to change my position on the pro pedophile Epstein class protector. It's not going to happen. This
Hmm.
guy does not want us to have a contract. He does not want us to have a pension. He does not want us to have worker protections. He does not want working class people to have anything. So why, as a labor leader, would I align myself with somebody who wants to eradicate me and the rest of my class?
That's right.
This makes no sense to me. If that
That's,
costs me votes, again,
so
God
be it.
bless you. May
Let me
heaven
tell you
smile
something.
upon you, and I
That's
still
right.
love you.
Let me tell you something. Because a lot of members don't realize that they saddle up for their own oppression. When
Mm,
you're going to get your news and your information from an organization that paid $780 million for lying to the people, then you got to question yourself. When you're going to get your information from an organization that not only paid 780 million, but stood up in court and says, I'm really not a news organization, I'm an entertainment organization, that tells you that you have lost your way. When you're going to side as a worker with the group that supports Elon Musk, that supports Jeff Bezos, that supports the Epstein pedophile class, then you are anti-working class,
right.
whether you recognize it or not. So the mere fact that you're paying dues someplace does not make you uh, a friend or an ally of our struggle. And we will never support the Confederate class. Let me call them what they are, right? Anyone that believes that running up into the Congress on January the 6th was
Mm-mm.
a vacation day, you'd have lost your mind. And that's a vote that I'm not trying to attract.
Right.
Not me. I don't want your vote. I want the vote of the people that want to improve their pensions, that want to protect their jobs, that want to create more jobs, that want to have all workers having a pension, all workers having a health care, all workers having a better social security system, a better social security outcome after working 30 and 40 years. If you're not down with that, take your vote and shove it, because we against you too.
Yeah, we can't. And I just want to be very clear because I got a couple of texts about that because the brother Maximilian from the Real News Network had put out a piece that me and John did, and he clicked the part out where we were talking about Trump, and it was, man, it was played everywhere. And I got a couple of texts about, hey man, people don't like your rhetoric against Trump. And like I said, I'm not going to go back and forth with anybody, especially not on social media. But I just had to make it clear this election in the Teamsters is not about me. It's about you and our entire working class. I'm not running for myself. I'm not getting it out of this. I don't want you guys to think that I'm getting something out of this. I'm not getting anything out of this, but more gray hairs and more work, right?
Well, let me
So,
say this. Let me say this, Richard, man,
but
and I mean this, brother. I appreciate you. And the thing is, a lot of people need to understand and what you just said. Brother, you've been around for a while. You know the struggle. And like you said, you're not trying to get anything out of it. You're trying to help the people. And
that's
if
it.
people can't understand that, don't realize that, and they want to criticize you about things you said about Donald Trump because the things you said are things that this man has actually done. And they still support this kind of rhetoric, man. It's ridiculous. And as far as I'm concerned, like you all, well, like I always say, man, they can't do nothing to me. All they can do is kill me. That's it. Bottom line. That's all they can do. Can't do nothing else to me. So I'm gonna be a man first. I'm gonna stand up for mine,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in. I believe that we need to continue to have a union that supports us and not one that is against us. It doesn't
right,
make sense.
exactly.
So you
Right.
keep on fighting this struggle, brother. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not standing behind you. I'm standing right beside you.
I
Just so
appreciate that.
you
Yeah,
know.
we're gonna keep fighting, man. Like when we first started this, this campaign, I knew it was going to be a uphill struggle. We already knew that, right? But it was an uphill struggle here in 623 when we first ran. It wasn't like it was given to me, right? We had to do a whole lot of work there. And we were successful because it was not about Richard Hooker or anybody on the executive board. It was about every single member and what we wanted to do to make their lives better. Same thing with this campaign, the national campaign, the Fearless campaign. This is about what can we do to get rid of the corruption, the intimidation, the harassment, not only from our own union, but also from our employers. How are we going to protect our members from AI and automation? Right? How are we going to organize more free? Right? And we got a flyer that I got to pull up here so we can start talking about that because, somebody else talked to me about what the general president was saying his last like 3 or 4 videos about attacking me personally. And I said, man, I don't care what he says about me. What I don't care. I, why should I care? He doesn't know me. I don't know him. Again, this is not about me. This is about the 1.241 million Teamsters. And how can we become a force to be reckoned with in this working class? That's what this is about. How can we make sure that all of our parents, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, how can they win in their communities and the workplace? That's what this is about. That's what this is about. And I know the rhetoric is going to come. It's going to get hot and heavy. I know they're going to be saying all kind of stuff. But guess what, man? I don't care. Listen, they talked about Jesus. He was perfect.
And there it is.
So who is me? I'm nobody. You know what I'm saying? So let them keep talking, man. I don't care. I listen. It's I don't care what people say about me. I really don't. This is not about me anyway. So it just doesn't matter. Again, we had a good laugh about it when I was at one of our buildings on Friday because one of the members wanted me to see what he was saying. We just started laughing because those who know me, they know me. So they laughing at him because they know what's up. So I don't have to go back and forth with what he says because I know the truth, and he does too. But he has to play this tough role, and I get it. That's he has to play it. He can play it, but I gotta be it. I gotta be it. So who else we got, man? We got
Could I
Gabe.
just say,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
because
ahead.
just before we transition, um, that this Donald Trump passed, I don't know, his executive order or whatever, forbidding states from passing legislation around AI and legislation to protect workers against AI. So you have a president, excuse me, who chooses to allow the technical class,
Yeah.
right, to endanger your job when your governor and your state legislature would want to pass some law to protect you from getting laid off. He's against that. So why would I want to be with a guy that was too stupid to know what would happen with this in the Straits of Hormuz, and the fact that gasoline has he made your life better? Or is it that you feel comfortable that Mark Wayne Mullen, who is the only United States senator that does not have at least a bachelor's degree, is going to be given a job in which he has zero qualifications for that job? At the very least, I could say that Christian Noem was the governor, and that might have given us some leg up on Department of Homeland Security. This man has zero knowledge about FEMA or safety or any of these police action or anything like that. This is diversity, equity, and ignorance. And there's a lot of people who prefer that. They would prefer to see, an unqualified white man over a qualified white woman. Let's be clear about what we're dealing with here. So those people exist, and we're against them too.
Yep. All right. So let me.
And we'd like to educate them. Hopefully they'll come around. But if they won't, the hell with you. You're the enemy too.
How do I do this?
Most of the people that died in the Civil War never owned no slaves that fought for the Confederacy, didn't own slaves, or didn't own land. They were fighting for the plantocracy for a benefit that they would never achieve themselves. So just so we understand, we need to be very clear when we're talking about class warfare. Class warfare has been around for a long time, and too many people in the working class choose to saddle up with the ruling class against their own interests. That's not new. They're in the Teamsters, they're in the carpenters, they're in the electrical workers, they're in every union, and they're in every job in the country that fight against their own self-interest. So that ain't nothing new.
Go ahead, Brother Eric.
What you said about O'Brien's comments towards you, that's very true, because I am one of the most hated people in my building by management and other drivers alike, because I'm the guy that is out there doing all that, and I don't care. And this whole thing, if you look at the psychology behind people's actions, O'Brien standing there and talking trash, that is somebody who is insecure, and they feel extremely threatened by what's happening because he is running this thing into the ground. That's all I wanted to say.
Got you. I'm gonna have to flip back to my laptop here so I can get this screen. So I'm gonna be off camera. I thought I could do it. I did something to my laptop where I can't even put my camera on. So, because I want you guys to kind of read what a portion of our platform is going to be, because we could talk about O'Brien until the cows come home, and I don't want to do that, man. I want people to understand that we have some plans in place.
And you email whatever you're trying to send to yourself and open it up on your phone?
I tried that, man. It didn't. I'm having some technical difficulties, man, but I can do it on this laptop here. So, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me share this. Let me go back to it. Uh-oh. So all this is a flyer that we've been handed out to tell people about what we want to do for automation, what we want to do to get rid of the corruption, what we want to do to get people together. And that's what I really want people to focus on. We could talk about all the great things we want to do, but until we get together, it's never going to work. Never going to work. Here we go. Brother Thompson, what's happening?
All right, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Doing good.
I'm a
All
little
right. Can y'all,
slow. I'm tired. We had a big fishing day yesterday for the kids. We were catching trout, man.
okay.
So we had a few kids. Every kid caught a fish, man.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you should have seen those little faces, man. You know, some of these kids never been fishing before, so it was an experience for them, you know. So we had a good time. We were out there, and I'm tired, brother.
I hear you. I hear you. So can everybody see the screen?
I see it. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
this is an outline of some of the things that we got to focus on if we want to win for our members. And we'll start with this automation, because I think everybody heard the same thing that I heard. September was it 2023, General President said that he stopped automation, AI, and robots. Well, we see that didn't happen. So, as you can see, one of our bullet points, automation, all contracts negotiated under the Fearless Administration will require employers to notify and negotiate with the union before introducing automation that impacts jobs or working conditions. We will establish strong language and boundaries regarding electronic monitoring, data collection, and the use of algorithms for discipline or evaluation. Additionally, we will mandate an evaluation of how new technologies will affect employment, safety, workload, privacy prior to implementation. Introducing protections such as no layoff clauses, redeployment rights, or guaranteed employment periods can help prevent sudden job losses. Because you were not protected this time, you are getting laid off, you're losing your health care, your building is closing, and the company is just doing whatever they want to do. Rhodey is taking out work. Now it's got this medical company, what is it, Markin or something like that. They're taking out work. They're just doing whatever they want to do. And um, file a grievance. We really don't know what's going to happen. We go to court. They win in court. It's just we are in a just chaotic mode right now. We're in bad shape. But so I want you guys just to read this and also share this with your coworkers, your brothers and your sisters. Let them know that all this stuff right here on this flyer is meaningless if we don't get together. If we don't get rid of this corruption that Caleb talked about earlier, the retaliation, harassment, the intimidation, if you can't speak freely in your union, none of this stuff on this paper is going to happen. Not one thing. Zero. The first thing will have to be everybody getting together because we can't fight automation if we can't even speak up in our union meetings. And we saw, I think Chris, you brought it up earlier about what happened in Las Vegas. The brother tried to have a bylaw amendment for having shop stewardess being elected, and man, it was chaos in there.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. And then you hear Caleb talk about, hey, they told us if we didn't give this money, we didn't max out, we would not progress in this union, or we would get sent back to the craft. And we had to go out and get signatures on the members' dime. And if we didn't do it, we were going to get sent back to the craft or removed or whatever. That's the organization that we have. You can put up all the stuff about this guy you want to. This is what's happening right now. And people don't know it, but we're going to expose it and we're going to continue to talk about it because we have to eradicate it from our union. We're not going to get anywhere until we get rid of that element. It's not going to happen.
But I think he said something about them making $67,000 a year. And you want to take $2,000 from a guy that made $67,000 a year? That's criminal.
Right.
It's all about their pockets. It's all about their positions and titles. It's not about the members. It's not about the members at all. It's about staying in office. That's all it's about.
So, Richard, where is this flyer located?
So you can actually go on our website, and you can read different information about our vision and our plan, be-fearless.org. be-fearless.org. You can sign up on there. We have surveys, the infrared survey, the camera survey, which we have been getting a lot of, participation in and support. Because again, we were told that the cameras were a strike issue. We didn't go on strike, and now people are getting cataracts and other health issues because of these things. There's a lot of things happening, man, and people really need to know the whole truth. The whole truth. Don't just put out the stuff that you think is good, but everything. So yeah, be-fearless.org. Pension protection and healthcare. What's going to happen to our pension and health and welfare funds when all these jobs become automated and AI? Because I don't know if anybody knows, the company will not make contributions on robots and AI and automation. They're not going to do it. So what's the plan? Here it is right here. What's going to happen to our pension and health and welfare when Let me see. Caleb, you got quiet on me, man. You got anything to add? Because you got a powerful story, man. And your brothers and sisters
No,
that
man.
fought through that whole thing to get that union, uh, that should be commended, man, because you guys had to go through union busting from your own union, and you guys stood up to that. And that's what it's going to take to change this whole entire organization. People like yourself and the other folks up there in the new organized unit to stand up and take back their union. That's what it's going to take. I know, hey, listen, I know it wasn't easy, man. I know it wasn't easy. I know it wasn't easy. I know it wasn't easy. And that's why people gotta stick together and stand up, man. Don't let these people believe that they bully you, they're gonna get away with it. You can't let them. If we're told and taught to fight back against our employer, why don't we do it when our union does it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing I could really add is a little bit of my experience coming back to UPS. When I got back to UPS, I realized, now when I left, I was just the Goldsboro Center, Goldsboro, North Carolina, small, pretty rural area, right?
Mm.
And now the building next to us, Kinston, is closed. They're done, right? They built this automated center in Garner, and they they moved all of Kinston's work over here. These drivers are not happy. The drivers are not happy with the way things are going. And Sean's ideas and the Oz ideas are not popular at UPS. It really just takes education. It takes
Yeah,
educating members and showing them that we can change it. You just gotta change your vote up. Sean was supposed to be I've been a member of TDU also pretty much my whole time at UPS before. And Sean was supposed to be a reformer. Well, guess what? He's not, And TDU went from being the watchdog to the lapdog, So TDU's not going to help you either. So you just got to get out and vote. Members have to be educated. And, members have to do their part. So, but we have to do our part too and
that's it.
educate members. And especially, with everything I've seen, I go back and I tell these guys all this stuff. A lot of them, they're like, what? You guys are non-union, but you tell them this stuff and people, I mean, it makes them think like, wow, if the IBT would do that to their own organizers, what are they doing for me really,
Right.
Yeah, the air conditioning is not happening. Your loader's gone because he got laid off or he had to move to a new center or whatever. People are not happy, man. So yeah, just keep it up, man. We got some serious changes that need to be made. So,
Yeah.
and not just UPS, but everywhere, right? So
Every craft is getting hit. We was talking to some brothers in the Toledo, Ohio, a couple of weeks ago, and about the freight and the organizing and what needs to be done. And those are the kind of people, man, who need to be on these committees, the people who live this life
We live
and
the life.
see the disappearance of work to these owner operators and non-union carriers, man. They need to be on the front line. Um, they need to be on the front line when it comes to organizing freight and how can we do it, you know? Yep. Wow, man,
Too
this is
many
crazy.
big shots. Not enough people who are insulated from the pain of the layoff. Who suffered because somebody got laid off. Who lost a job because of the layoff. Who has a plan. You know, I keep saying this: technology is either going to be our friend of the working class, or it's going to become the enemy of the working class, and it's going to require that the movement, not the business union, the movement union has to go in and create legislation at a federal, state level. Collective bargaining wise, there's three pieces to this component because we not only have to protect our own members, we have to protect the class interests, right? The majority of the people in the most unionized country in the world, most of the people are still non-union, right? But those non-union people need to see their interests being protected by the vanguard class, which is organized labor. And so that we need to be working on 3 levels to promote job protection, wage protection. Uh, why can't I come in if you got this technology and these robots running around? And I made this joke in Toledo where you clock in and say good morning to AI. Gus might be named Gus. Who knows what AI name might be? And I'm going fishing for the next 4 hours, Gus. I'll be back. Let me know when you finished. And I'm gonna come in and check and make sure you got it right and then go home. Right. But we need to have our jobs because work has value. Just staying home and somebody sending you a check, they call that welfare, and that ain't help nobody lift up. So we need to have a job. We need to have some place to go to clock in and clock out, or however they choose to do it. But it's going to require the involvement of each individual members. Members have to realize whose side are you on? You on Jeff Bezos' side, or you on Chris Silvera's side, your co-worker side, Caleb's side, Terry Day's side, Jackie Spears' side? Whose side are you on? Because if you're siding with Bezos, then you're my enemy. If you sign, right? Because you claim you have this relationship with Trump. Well, if Trump is dictating stuff to people in Venezuela and whatnot, why don't he dictate something to Jeff Bezos and say, yo, man,
Yeah.
sign up all your members into the Teamsters right now, right? If you want to run Venezuela, why don't you run what's happening in your land? Right? But he ain't doing that, and he ain't never going to do that.
Nope.
And Musk and Bezos are actually in court trying to claim that the National Labor Relations Act is unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional. Yep.
People need to be very clear about what's happening. But you see, these discussions are not taking place at the local union level. These discussions are not taking place on MS Now or CNN or Fox or any of these other places. And so that we trying to use social media and what have you, and social media is so scattered that it becomes difficult to continue to communicate. People communicated better during the civil rights movement when they had a copy machine. They used to have another name for it. We used to have this handling cranking out copies of papers and what have you. But we have people out here that's I see them on the social media and what have you like that are trying. But those of us who are allies have to spread the word. Each one, if Jesus had 12 disciples and could do what Christianity did, then we need to be able to do as well messaging. But nothing beats Terry Day going into a shop and talking to his people, or Caleb talking to his people, or Jackie Spears talking to her people. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you, right? So that conversation is a better conversation than something from that I saw on a screen someplace, my phone screen or whatever. Nothing beats that one-on-one brick building. And we're just gonna have to get out here, man. It's a people's movement. I said to them, the Panthers used to have a thing, power to the people, right? But they never said power to black people. They never said power to white people. They just said the people.
Power to the people,
because
right?
power belongs to
To
the people. We, the people of the United States of America, right? Now, even though they weren't thinking about us too well at the time, the language still was inclusive enough for us to go to court and win some court battles, right? So the people have to become engaged. The people have to want to change these corrupt practices that have been going on for far too long. And I'm not some naive person that thinks that all corruption is just going to disappear when Richard Hooker and Chris Silvera show up and Aubrey and people show up.
Right.
I don't believe that. But we need to make people who are doing corrupt practices uncomfortable. We need to make them know that they're subject to getting kicked out. But if you're comfortable practicing this lifestyle and don't think that anything is ever going to happen to you, then that's what becomes problematic, because that's why people are going to choose to, if you're in a right to work state, uh, to opt out of the union, because I'll use you when I need you. Like when the boss fires me, here I come running to you, but I don't want to stand with you in solidarity. And we need to go in and change the law. We need to attack right to work. We need to attack Taft-Hartley straight up.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight up. Let me get up
But
my.
Caleb, I gotta ask you a question, man, before it slipped my mind. So what made you guys feel like this was the right time to push back and fight back? Because I think a lot of our members, when they hear this kind of stuff, it has to be something that forces them to want to participate and get involved and make a change. So what was it for your group that said, man, you know what, man, we can't take this no more, and we have to stand up and fight back? What was the moment? What pushed you guys to want to make that stand against the IBT? What were the conditions that forced you guys to do that?
Yeah, there was really no first off, we had to wait a year after the 2024 campaign, right? We waited a little bit over a year, but I'd say the main reason was there's really no we had no set path to becoming staff. Even when you're staff, we saw organizers get terminated for little or no reason. Of course, the politics are insane. Like I said before, a lot of organizers don't even come out of a craft. They have no idea, what the Teamsters are all about. They've never worked on a preload shift at UPS or Twilight, none of that. They never drove a truck. They never done any of that stuff, but they know how to organize. And these people were coming in, and they're like, blindsided by all this political talk, and they don't know what to do about it, right? So that shouldn't affect their job. So really and truly, this was the perfect time because one, we really thought they were going to do the right thing, right? You think that they're going to recognize you. Of course, it was an election year. That was also in the back of our mind. It is an election year, so hopefully they'll recognize us.
Gotcha.
They didn't last year or in 2024. Maybe they will this time. They did not. But yeah, so it's really no different than UPS.
Mm.
Some of the management or some of the strategies management uses to pull people in at the IBT and reel them back in if they're going rogue, you may say, are worse than UPS. If you I had a lot of guys, a lot of field organizers call about expenses. So I think it was last year, 2025, the beginning, they started giving organizers $100 a day for food, right? And field organizers weren't getting paid their per diems, their $100 a day for months. I'm
Wow.
talking about some of these guys were owed $7,000 to $10,000
Wow.
by the IBT. And they're calling me, they're asking me about it. And when we would call the international, I'd call the director, or I've called the director a few times, and I've also called my rock. We would get told okay, we'll take care of it. You call them again, guess what? Stop calling me, right? I'm tired of hearing about it. So we have to have some kind of set rules in place for us, right? And enough is just enough. It's just like dealing with UPS or any craft we represent. You have to have some kind of set rules. I say it all the time. If UPS messed up my paycheck, there'd be hell to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there would be. So what's the difference between UPS and IBT? There there should be a huge difference, right?
Just
But
the fact you're asking that question says it all.
yeah, So there should be a huge difference, but at times there's not. And yeah, you have to have rules, man. You have to have a set to take care of yourself, right? So
Yeah, they forgot who they work for.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
bingo.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's crazy.
Mm-mm.
Mama Spears, man, I want to hear your voice a little bit. What's the church lady? That's you? She must not be on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hooker, I heard you. Wait a minute. Go ahead. Church lady's on. They want her to speak because my niece is here. Go ahead. And I'll speak right after her. Yes, church lady.
Brother Michael, you got your wife with you?
Yeah, she here. She's just about ready to walk out.
Okay. Well, tell her I said hello.
Okay, I will. She says she's going to get on in a second. She's going to be on the road.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
she always moving, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
You can't hit a moving target.
That's true.
Mm.
That is true.
Yeah, I was watching this thing. I came across uh, O'Brien's podcast he was doing, and he was talking bad about you, man.
Oh yeah. That's what
I was
he's supposed to do that, man.
I was like, wow. And the end of it all was he said, well, you know, the IBT organization is not a hard organization to run. Anybody could run this organization except Richard Hooker. I said, wow.
Yeah, I love it. I
I
love
was
it.
like, really?
Good.
Anybody can run it except
Except for me.
you.
I love it. I heard the same thing at 623, and look what
Uh-huh.
happened. Got reelected not once, but twice. And the second time, for the first time in the history of the local, no opposition. So that's why
Yeah,
I don't worry about what people say, man. We just do the work, man. We
right.
we we do the work. There's an old church hymn we used to sing back when I was growing up. They don't sing it no more. It says, "Let
Hmm.
the works I've done speak for me."
Exactly.
That's it. I'll let the work speak. I don't have to go
There
back
you
and forth
go.
with nobody.
But doesn't that sound like Donald Trump? This an easy job to do, but nobody else can do it but me. Right? Anybody that believes that running the IBT is easy ain't trying to do no work.
There you go.
Ain't trying to do no work. That statement tells you that he's a business unionist, which means that they collect money, they have their little different departments and what have you, but they're not out there driving the narrative. They're reacting to a narrative. Uh, and that's why he finds himself saddled up with Josh Hawley, whose voting percentage all people have to do is look these people up in the AFL-CIO and see. Now, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So twice a day you can look at the broken clock and get the right time. But it does not mean the clock is working. And Josh Hawley has no love affair with labor. However, Missouri, as right wing as Missouri is, Missouri actually has a very conscious labor movement that exists within there, and he needs those white workers to be confused and vote for him again and again. So he has to play along with certain roles, and we have to start to educate people. I tell people, man, they should read a book called The Sum of Us, the SUM of Us, by a woman named Heather McGee, and see how the system teaches people. See, like when you in UPS, seniority. I don't care if you're black, Latino,
Right,
I don't
right.
care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're black or green or whatever, you ain't gonna get that job unless you have seniority, because seniority is blind,
Mm.
right? But in a non-union environment, you could get that job because you and the boss go out bowling. You could get that job because you and the boss are sleeping together. You could get that job because you're snitching on your coworkers every day. Does not work in a union environment. And let me tell you something. NAACP, the court, the church, pick the organization. It is only the union that has created equality in the workplace. Nobody else, no other organization.
You're right, Chris. Sister
But wait a
Yvette,
minute,
man, we
Mike
ain't here for
Thompson,
you.
wait a
You
minute,
must be
wait a minute.
busy.
I have a question real quick.
What's
Mike
that?
Thompson just said that 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 Sean O'Brien said anybody can run this union, but you. What possessed him to put them words in his mouth?
Man, you can't worry
What
about what he
possessed
says,
O'Brien?
man. You can't worry about
Huh?
what he says. I'm telling you, I don't care. And it's not just him. Um, what people say about me personally is a reflection of them. How I
Right, right,
respond is a reflection of me.
right.
I don't respond because I don't care what people say about me personally. We've again since 2020, then taking office in 2020 in my local, we have changed the entire landscape in my local. And they know it. They know it. The IBT knows it. I got text messages and emails,
Mm-hmm.
them telling me that they see what's going on.
Yes.
So that's why I'm not too concerned about what they say because I know what we've done here. We've done a lot of good work here. And again, they know it. Again, text messages and emails about how a great of a job that we do and that we've done. So that's why I don't really care about what he says or anybody because I again let the works we've done speak for us, and that's what he's going to continue to do. He can say whatever he wants to say. Not going to respond that there's going to be a time and a place for that. And I can't wait for that time. I've been waiting for that time since 2024 in May. I've been waiting for that day to come. And then it's going to be here very, very soon. So I'm not worried about that. But I do want to talk about the delegates. The delegate elections are happening now, and there is the election supervisor put out, you know, how many delegates each region would need and the at-large positions. So I'm going to touch on that really quick here because I want people to know what we need to get on the ballot because they're going to do whatever they can to keep us off the ballot. They are. I mean, they are going to do whatever they can to keep us off the ballot. Because if we get on the ballot, they know they're in some serious trouble. So they're going to do whatever they can to keep us off the ballot. So for the at-large positions in the union, at-large positions or union-wide positions, I should say, are the trustees, the general secretary treasurer, the general president, and the 7 VPs at large. They're going to need 80 delegates to get on the ballot. That's it. That's all we're going to need is 80 delegates to get on the ballot for the at-large positions. Now, the Southern region, they need 8. So people like Leonard Steer and our Southern region folks, they're going to need eight delegates. I'm trying to find it here. I had it. Let me see something here. Where's this at? I just had it and I lost it. Well, I'll find it. But again, I know it's 80 delegates for the union-wide positions, general president, general secretary treasurer, the 3 trustees, and the 7 VPs at large. 80 delegates. There are 1,589 delegates total. So out of those 1,589, We only need 80 for the union-wide positions. For the southern region, we need 8. For the west, I believe it's 24. The east is 21, and I believe the central is also 21 or something. I'm just because I can't find what I wrote down, so I'll make a post about it. And I believe, as I've said time and time again, that out of that 1589, there is going to be more than 80 folks that wants to have an election, that still believes in democracy. It's not going to go along with the get along, right? Wants to get rid of the dictatorship and kingship and the retaliation and the authoritarian leadership of the general president. I believe that wholeheartedly. I cannot, but I will never believe that out of 1,589 people that they want and still like what's going on in this organization. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Because I talked to some of them and I know they don't like what's going on. I know they don't like what's going on. And when you get in the booth, it's just going to be you and your device to vote on. Nobody's going to be watching you. Nobody's going to be over your shoulder. Nobody's going to be clocking you. Nobody's going to ask you. So you don't have to worry about what brother Caleb was talking about, this bullying and this extortion and this intimidation factor. That's not going to be present in that booth. Not saying it's not going to be present in other places, on the convention floor and other parts, but in that booth, it's just going to be you and your device to vote on. That's it. You don't have to worry about nobody watching you over your shoulder or none of that. None of that. So that's important. That is very important. Zoom user, is that you, Paula? Um,
That might be her.
Yeah,
She
that's me. I think that's
yeah,
me.
yeah.
okay. What's going on
Hi.
with you?
Nothing. How you doing though?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Oh
I have
man.
to
Good
change my
afternoon.
name.
Mhm.
Man.
I don't know how to
Oh,
change my name. Rich Hooker.
you don't know how to change your name.
I probably have to do it after the Zoom.
Yeah, don't worry about it because I done messed up my camera on my laptop, man. I had to go back and forth with my tablet so everybody could see me. But then when I tried to share the screen, I had to go back to the laptop. I don't know what I did, man. I did something to the camera and it just I don't know. I figured out, or I get one of my girls to figure it out. They'll figure it out for me, hopefully. But brother Caleb, man, we gonna get out of here, man. If you want to just uh give some advice to people who may be afraid and feel scared and fearful uh of standing up and speaking out, what advice would you give to our brothers and sisters that may be feeling a certain way because you lived it, you experienced it, and so we're gonna let you close this out, brother. If you're still there, I see your name up there, Caleb.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if anybody feels like you're being pressured by your local officials, by the international, if you work for the international, by another member or anybody, feel I mean, just call them out. Tell them this is one member, one vote. You have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. If you're getting pressured to the point where it feels illegal, I would encourage you to please call the what is it, OES,
Yeah.
and
Oh yes.
yeah, OES, and also call the Department of Labor. If they're forcing you to give money or anything like that. But don't be afraid. I mean, they can't do but so much to you. They can talk all the trash they want. they can pressure you all they want, but they can't pull your membership. You're still a Teamster regardless. So don't be afraid of these people. Just do the right thing, and do the right thing for working people everywhere. It's always about Teamsters, right? But we're also fighting for everyone else outside the Teamsters too. Other unions and workers in general. Okay. So yeah, don't be afraid of these people and always fight back. So
Always fight back. Brother Chris, what you got to close this out?
Pressure your locals to support Fearless. Go to your local general membership meeting and pressure them to support the Fearless slate. And when we get on the ballot, don't sleep this. This is your future. Yeah. I'm 70 years old. I could retire next week. This is for the future. This ain't even for the guy that got 30 years in, 25 years. You'll make it to the end. What happens to your children, your children's future, your grandchildren's future is going to be dependent on the path that labor plays going forward, in particular in this season that we're living in with the oligarchs, AI, technology, the power of the military-industrial complex, the lack of a genuine people's government. We have to become engaged. We have to become involved. It's going to take each and every one of us. It ain't going to be Hooker. It ain't going to be Silvera. It ain't going to be Yvette. It's going to take each and every one of us to become engaged in our local unions, become engaged in our communities, if we want to see a vibrant America reemerge again.
All right. All right.
But
Go
let
ahead,
me say
Terry. I know
this,
you about to say something.
yeah, man. So let me say this. I pray, brother, that I make it out there. I really do. Because I make it out there to Vegas, oh, I'm gonna be the loudest drum out there beating. I promise you.
I hear you.
Chris know me very well, man. I don't back down to nobody. Don't nobody scare me. And I hope that the rest of the folks on here feel that same way. You have nothing to fear but the Lord himself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Believe that.
right.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I
Believe that.
agree 100%.
So when it come to anybody else, man, please get out of here.
I know.
Let's
I know.
let's go. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's make this international stronger than what it should be. Let's make it.
Amen.
Let's get it back to where it used to be back in the day. Because back in the day, it wasn't no playing around. We were all serious Teamsters. We didn't play that mess, man. Don't come at us sideways because that's the way we did things. And maybe we need to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then let's do that. I mean, like I said, I ain't scared of nobody. Nobody. So let's move forward, man. And like I said, I'm with y'all, brothers. Let's make this thing happen. Let's do it.
All right.
That's what you hear from them guys, them stand your ground states, Hooker.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, what's the next date, Chris? What we got? Let me see. Can't do that date. That's Easter. April the 12th. Go ahead, brother Eric.
I really like what all of you have said. The one thing that I tell people here is go freaking vote. If you don't vote, you're allowing somebody else that does not have your best interests at heart to make your life decisions for you. So go vote. If you don't vote, nothing's going to change.
Nothing.
So I don't care who you vote for. Just go vote.
That's right. That's right. So how does April 12th look for you, Chris? You're on mute. I couldn't hear you.
Still on mute.
Let's give me a thumbs up if it's good.
Yeah, it works. April
Okay,
12th.
all right,
Yeah.
cool.
What time?
Man, let's do 6 again.
6 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah. Well, all I got to say is to everybody on this call, everybody that's watching now, and everybody that's going to watch it later, go to be-fearless.org, sign up for updates, take our surveys, donate, tell your brothers and sisters about our slate and the makeup of it, our direction, our vision, our passion. All of that is focused around one thing and one thing only, you. It's not about Hooker, not about the current general president. It is about you and your family, you and your community, and your future. To Chris's point, what is it going to look like in 10, 15 years? What what are the teams going to look like? Are we still going to be bullying people? Are we still going to be extorting people? Are we actually going to be a union that's going to fight for people, regardless if they're Democratic, Republican, black, white, who they love, who they worship? Are we going to be that type of union, an organizing union, and not a business union? Words, tough talk, all that stuff. It sounds good, but we need some good action. We need people who's going to actually do the work. No puff pieces, no PR, just actual working for the working class. Not standing with the Epstein class, pro-pedophile class, anti-worker class, but the worker and the working class and the working family. So if you are a delegate and you're going to the convention, I implore you and ask you, as a fellow Teamster and trade unionist, make sure that you still support democracy. Everybody deserves a chance and a choice. You know down in your heart that this is not what this is supposed to be. You know it. I know you know it. I talk to a lot of you. I know you know that this is not right. You know it's not right. Make sure we get on the ballot. Let the members decide. Let the members decide. Let them decide. They pay for it. They pay for a decision. Don't take it away from them. We only need 80 votes for the union-wide positions, 8 in the South, 21 in the East, 24 in the West, and I believe it's like 24. I don't have it in front of me. 20 between 21 and 24 in the Central. That's all we asking. That's all we asking. Let the members make a choice. That's all. Let democracy win. Let it win. All right, so April 12th, 6 p.m. I'll see you guys soon. We'll be back on the road again. Thanks to everybody that we've met over these last,
All right.
few months, and there's a lot more to come. All
Is that
right,
6
God
p.m.
bless.
Eastern?
Huh?
All
Hooker.
right.
6 p.m. Eastern?
6 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Hooker, don't forget this evening for the call for about yesterday.
Okay.
Don't forget.
I won't.
Great
Okay.
meeting everybody. Everybody
All right,
take
Bye.
care.
Terry. Caleb,
Bye.
brother, thank you again, man. We got to share that story everywhere, man. People need to know that the corruption runs deep, all the way to the top.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all be good.